Yo, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm just making sure some settings are alright and I'm gonna start. Yo, hello John Z. Is everything alright? Can you guys hear me? Nice. I'm gonna wait for some more people to join. Then we're gonna kick it off. How was your stream, man? I was able to stay on it for like I think half an hour, but then I had to leave. Yeah, I saw that. That raid was pretty nice. Not gonna lie. I miss trading forex. Ocean chart, please. Uh, we're gonna get into the charts pretty soon. Um, Let me know if the music is alright. It's not too loud, hopefully. But honestly, I haven't heard of Ocean. Let me. Is it? Oh yeah, right. Haven't haven't heard of it. Let's see it on the daily. Yeah. So even on the weekly, to me, yo, hello, Mr. Pablianos. So yeah, regarding Ocean, this to me looks like the typical altcoin that rallied in the bull market. The first run failed to take the highs in the second one, and now it's just chilling like I think minus 90%. Yeah, from the top. But let's take a look at a closer time frame. So on the 1 hour chart, at least, um, it's pretty bullish. We just overtook this high, and we still have some inefficiencies left to fill right here. But Yeah, like every single altcoin, it depends a lot on what Bitcoin wants to do, and maybe if you can see some relief on Bitcoin, then we can go and take these highs as well. These scam wicks are pretty crazy to me, and I would like ignore them and not see them as a liquidity target. Yo, hello MVA, thank you for joining. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna change my name to Vikotter just to make sure you're right. So yeah, these are my thoughts on Ocean, requested by Hasham Khan. Hopefully, um, it brought some insight into it. Like, I would not trade this one. Honestly, for example, like you can see from my watch list, I stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum for for crypto, and this is what I mostly trade. And then Forex, when I do trade Forex, is just EU and GU. I like to focus on a few assets and see how they behave, what things they want to do, and then yeah, I also have a watch list of some altcoins which I traded in the past, but right now not so much. I find it really easy to just focus on the big boys because they move the market anyway. So maybe you can see a pretty good setup on Ocean, for example, but then Bitcoin just wants to play against it, and then it's nothing that you can do. And the only conclusion that you need to draw from that loss is that you should have looked more into what Bitcoin wants to do. All right, so let's move to Bitcoin, for example, since we already talked a little about how I like to trade it. So for me this week, PA has been pretty strange a little because of the pump and the huge dump, but it was pretty clear that last week's range will get swept sooner rather than later. We can see how price stayed between the value area, and then as soon as we got on Monday, price decided to sweep the lows, um, and then it swept the highs again, and now it's ranging in this range. Let me draw it a little. So for example, right now we're just ranging here, and um, lately Bitcoin has been doing a lot of these ranges where the most ideal thing that you want to do is trade when we deviate either from range highs or range lows. Um, like for example here, maybe it was a little bit risky to long after going so low, but if you would have longed here after sweeping the lows, then you would have caught a pretty nice long until the range highs. And uh, right now, kind of the same thing. I can expect something like going sweep the range highs, or at least this liquidity that's built up right here, and then go for the lows because we left relatively equal rows right here. Um, so right now I see Bitcoin just as a game of ranges. If I look in the past in my charts, it's just another range that has been swept on both sides, and then we exited it to the above, and then we returned roughly in the same area. If you look on a higher time frame, maybe one day, we can see that, or maybe 4 hours, it's better. We can see that we have been ranging here, and now we are roughly in the same area. Um, it's pretty hard to trade Bitcoin right now if you don't know how to trade ranges, in my opinion. I'm gonna tell you how I do it soon. Let's look at the chat for a second. Altcoins are leveraged. ETH, BTC. Yeah, I can agree on that. But sometimes, for example, you have a target for an altcoin, which is a clear liquidity target, and but Bitcoin takes the liquidity target faster and it reverses, making your TP miss. So that's why I stick to trading Bitcoin and ETH. hey bro, will the stream be watchable after? Yeah, I hope so. At least that's the settings I wanted to to set at the beginning. Hopefully, I was right to do so. Like I said, it's my first stream, so I expect some technical difficulties. For example, the chat was unavailable at the beginning because YouTube asked me if the stream is made for kids, and I was like, yeah, I'm not swearing, I'm not showing inappropriate content, but because of that, they disabled the chat. So yeah, still getting used to it. I hope the next stream will also be with face cam. I ordered one camera, but because of Christmas deliveries and things like that, it hasn't arrived in time. So next time I will dox myself if that's something that you're interested in. You also trade SMCs. Honestly, I really don't know how to describe my type of trading. Like I trade some SMCs concepts, some ICT concepts. It's mostly just liquidity trading. I'm not categorizing myself into one type of trading. I just trade what I see on the chart. I don't use any oscillating indicators like MACD or RSI or stuff like that. So I just look at what price does and what liquidity levels are left in the chart, and then I trade based off those. Um, so for example, a good short idea, at least in my opinion, would be right now, like I said, to wait a little for price to go up if it wants to do this. Take some of this liquidity in the FVG. Let me mark it a little bit better. So here we have this FVG, and then what I think price will maybe do is stay in this range at least, then go take the high on the left, take some liquidity from the FVG, and then start going for the equal lows below. But I will need I will need some confirmation before I trade anything like that. The thing is, you're better off just waiting for some confirmation rather than just gambling your trade into any direction and then hoping that you're right. It's more of a gamble thing if you do that. I'm more of a, like I like to say, a reactive trader. I wait for price to do something and then I take my play based off what price has already done. Any tips for getting funded? Yeah, that's something that I'm planning to do next year. I took some trials. I think almost every one of them, but yeah, I took them on FTMO. All but one went well, and the thing is, you gotta have a clear trading strategy if you want to succeed, because like if you trade with your account, which let's say it's maybe $1,000, and then if you lose one trade, two trades, five trades, it's fine because at the end of the day it's your money that you invested. But if you are planning on getting funded, then losing one to five trades in a row will really affect your mental. So you need to have a clear trading plan that you are trusting and that you are confident in, that even if you have some losses in a row, that it's still a good plan. And if at the end it's not really that good of a plan and you lose the phase one or phase two of getting funded, then you need to go back to the drawing board, make some changes the way you are trading, and then try again if that's your goal. For example, the thing I did for with this goal in mind to become funded is I started trading forex, and I saw that the same strategy that I used in crypto did not work at all for forex. So I had to go back to the drawing board after the trial that I failed, and then like see what type of trading strategies work on forex, and then stick to those. And it worked at the second trial. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get funded as well. I have some friends that were already or are already funded, and their experience will help a lot, I'm sure. So yeah, like I said, I think that what Bitcoin wants to do next right here is since we had this big liquidity sweep right here, it's gonna trade a little higher, at least for the foreseeable future, I think. Maybe we're gonna be ranging like this until the weekend ends, and then hopefully we're gonna feel some of this FVG and then go back lower, something like that, because I think that it's easier to short if we feel some of this FVG and then to target some of these lows rather than try to short now when it's clear that this FVG right here is dangerous for shorting. Like you can see how this 4-hour FVG has been filled to the EQ before we went lower, and that's something really like a really important draw on liquidity. Let me yeah. All right. So I said that I'm gonna explain a little how to trade ranges because I think it's really important to know that right now. So let's say that after a really strong move, the market wants to start ranging. Maybe something like this. I'm just gonna draw something random. Um, let's draw a range. And the thing that I like to note on the chart when I have a range is obviously the range highs and the range lows, but also a volume profile. Let me find an actual example. It's easier to explain based on that. So let's take this range for example. We can see how after a strong move up, price started trading in this range. And like I said, another thing that I like to add to my ranges is the fixed range volume profile, and that kind of gives me an idea where price traded the most. And the things that I note on the chart are the range highs, the range lows, maybe some liquidity below, like there was this big H4 FVG EQ that has been swept, but mainly the range highs, range lows, then the volume profile, and everything that comes with it. And then I really don't do any trades in the middle of the range. It's easy to get caught up in the bullishness when we see price coming to range highs, but it's actually more EV plus to short right here and to look for a short rather than just try to buy into the bullishness that maybe you can see on CT and long. And the same thing can happen in the opposite side. Like again, when you are at range lows, it's more EV plus to long. Even though the people that you may see on Twitter are really bearish. So just look at this range, how easy it would have been to set some alerts at range highs, see when this high gets swept and when the range high gets swept in this area, and then short and maybe target the range lows or some inefficiencies through there. And then again, when we were at range lows, it would have been a good idea after we swept this one and the H4 FVG that I just mentioned to long until range highs. But obviously, once price needs to exit the range, you're gonna be wrong. But uh, for example, if you shorted right here with a target being the range lows, then would have been wrong. You would have lost the trade. But at the end of the day, it's more often than not this pattern gets respected. And a good question would be, when do I consider a range not being a range anymore? When do I stop trading the range? Um, Most of the time, it's pretty clear when the range has been exited. Like here, it's pretty clear that with such a big price movement outside the range, at least for me, the range has been exited. But sometimes the it's not that clear when. So, for example, if right here price would have done something like this, go back to range lows and then rejected it again, then that would have been like a good indication that the range has been exited. And maybe the same thing can be said in the opposite direction. So maybe if here we go a little higher, we retest the range highs, and then we go back up, then the range can be considered exited. But that can sometimes trick you. Like for example, right here, maybe you can say, okay, we exited the range, we retested the range highs, then we need to go back up, and the opposite has happened. But in my opinion, when price goes so much outside the range, then the range has been like mitigated. I know some people consider a range being mitigated when both the range highs and the range lows have been swept. So for example, right here they say, okay, this is not a range I want to trade anymore, because the idea is that maybe you already swept the highs, you already swept the lows, so there is not um, any draw on liquidity in either side of the range, and then you are just like gambling on where price will want to go next. And to gamble is the worst thing any trader can do. So um, another thing that you can look at on ranges as a possible TP is the POC of the range, so the point of control from the volume profile. You can target it for so for example here, even though I said that it would have been a loss if you shorted right here and you would have targeted the range lows, if you would have targeted the point of control right here, it would have been a win in your books. And usually when I play on ranges, I target either some inefficiency that has been left, so in this case maybe an order block right here, or the FVG, something like that. But I don't always go for the opposite side of the range, because sometimes it can take a long time to reach there, and at least for me, the longer it takes to reach the TP, the higher are the chances that I mismanage the trade. So I would rather look for closer TPs that usually offer me between 1.5 and 3R, and just fully close the position there. I don't try to overcomplicate myself with trading high R trades, because I'm also working, I'm also a student, and I also have some other stuff that I need to work on. So the shorter the trade or the clearer the TP, it's the better it is for me. So yeah, this is what I think about Bitcoin right now. Let's also look at Ethereum, for example. If we look on the daily chart of Ethereum, I think again, it's a range, and it's pretty clear that this range has been respected a lot since we had this move down to 1070, and then we kind of started ranging middle of the range. And the thing is, it's always um, dangerous shorting when you see such a huge liquidity like this daily FVG that we can see on the daily. It has been mitigated a little right now uh, this week, but I still consider that we may start trading higher, and then we go for this big draw on liquidity, the equal lows at 1070. But until then, I'm not comfortable opening any swing positions, because like I said, shorts are cool because we have these equal lows right here that act as a drawn liquidity and draw on the price. But at the same time, in the other side, we have this daily FVG that does the same thing. So it's a gamble to trade. And even right now, you can see that we are at the range EQ, the middle of the range, and that's the worst time that you can trade. Maybe you could have shorted right here because we swept this high and the range highs, and then target maybe the range Q, or let's see the volume profile of the range. Yeah, or maybe you could have targeted this high volume node right here, which was around the same idea. Will you keep the short open if you short it top range to equal lows? Um, Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so because we see that we ranged here a little, and then we exited the range to the upside. We took the liquidity right here, and then now we are ranging above the previous range. The thing I'm talking about is let me be more clear. So we had this range which we exited to the upside after we swept the lows, and now we are in this range. So for me, this is, at least for the moment, a sign of bullishness. I expect the price to go lower because like I said, we still have those equal lows, and I think that we are, or at least I am more bearish than bullish. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong in just thinking that maybe price wants to sweep more of this daily FVG before we go down. So if I open a short right here, which would have been, like I said, a really good idea, my target would have been the middle of the range anyway. So I would close right now, because we are at the middle of the range again, or maybe just set your stops really in profit when maybe somewhere around here or somewhere around above this range. In case we go lower and then we take the equal lows, so you don't miss out or just close half of it, which is something I don't do actually. But I know some people that like to take partials and they are really good at it. But like I said, with the limited time that I have to trade, I would rather fully close the position, and then look for something better. But yeah, if we look at ETH on a lower time frame, yeah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, you're always welcome. So, like I said, even right now we are in this range that we had after these big sweeps on the both sides, which I think was because of some news, but I can't really remember that much. But even right now you had this huge Darth Maul candle which took liquidity to the both sides, more to the upside and the downside, and that's why we're seeing more bearish price action right now. But maybe you can see that these equal lows haven't been taken while most of the liquidity to the upside of this range has been taken. Um, so at least for me, right now, a good play is maybe if we start going a little more upwards again, then I would short targeting the range lows. But like I said, I prefer to be a reactive trader, not a predictive one. So I would rather wait for or hope for the price to continue going down, maybe take the lows, and then if we get a break of structure to the upside, then I would consider longing rather to the upside. But that's on the short term, and since it's Wednesday, um, we still have like some 2 more days left, I think, for price to develop until we start ranging and having difficult PA in the weekend. At least in the past month, I think that especially on weekends, PA on the low time frame has been janky and really hard to trade. I remember in September, October, I used to love trading the weekend and weekend ranges and weekend PA. But I agree that right now it's pretty difficult because even the liquidity is lower since the whole FTX scandal that scared people away from crypto. And I agree that has been a tragedy for many people. They lost hard-earned money. So I totally get that some people want to get away from crypto and never hear of it again, and that affects the liquidity. But it's just something that I noticed and why I stopped trading on weekend. I think my dear friend Follis once mentioned a few days back that um, he saw a quote that said that Saturdays are for doing a recap of the previous week and how your trades went, and then the Sunday is for preparing the next week. And I agree with that. And also the weekend is to remember that you are a human as well. You're not only a trader, and to have some fun and do some activities that you love, so that you come back in the next week fully prepared, fully fresh, not tired from working all day and every single day. So it's a good thing, at least for me, to not trade weekends anymore. Um, let's also take a look at the two forex pairs that I like to trade, EU and GU, being the Euro USD pair and the British Pound USD pairs. So if we take a look on a high time frame on EU, we can see that since May 21 we have been in a constant downfall. We reached, I think, for the first time in 2 decades, yeah, when the euro was weaker than the dollar, and then for the first time since we started this bearish trend, we have a reversal break of structure and some good weeks in a row on the green. So right now I would be more comfortable longing than shorting because of the bullishness of the past few weeks. And we can see that in swings, at least, it would have been really, like, not really easy, but pretty predictable to trade. Um, we broke market structure, we went back down, we broke market structure, we went back down, we did the same thing over and over again. But at least for the past week, we have been kind of ranging and not doing that much. We filled this FVG, and now we are, if we look on the 1 hour or even 15 minutes, we can see that it has been in range. So again, you need to know how to trade ranges and what to act and not get caught in the wrong side of the range. So maybe if we draw something like this, I think this is more accurate. Usually I draw the range from the big impulse to the upside and the big impulse to the downside, which would have been something like this. But I think it's more accurate to do something like this right now, because we've seen a lot of price action down here. We left some equal lows, some equal highs. So I think that I would rather, again, wait, see what price wants to do, which side of the range it wants to sweep, and then target the opposite side of liquidity. Um, I'm not comfortable, for example, doing any long or short right now. Maybe if we go on a lower time frame, then maybe if we go something like this, around this level, I'm comfortable shorting again if I see a break of structure on the 1 minute chart. But until then, I would rather stay out of any long-term trade, at least without any confirmation. And then let's take a look at GU, the British brother of the EU. Yeah, you can see this was a past markup of mine, and I thought that because of this break of structure, then when we start trading up again, we're gonna go down. But I would have been wrong, so I'm happy that I did not trade that. And then, like, a good idea would have been to identify this sweep on the hourly, and then see this break of structure on the hourly, and then try to short after this small bounce and maybe target these equal lows right here, and it would have been a really killer trade. I know I was looking at this, but when this happened between, I think it was at least for me 10 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. I was in school, so I totally missed the break of structure and the retest of the FVG. So, like I said, a trade that I was willing to take was something like this. But sadly, I did not get to do it. It happened when I was doing something else, and that's fine. I started to accept that I can't be in front of the charts every single minute of the day. I have some other stuff to do as well, which is totally fine. So I stopped getting tilted because I miss trades while doing something else, even though it would have been a really killer trade. But yeah, since then we've been slowly bleeding out again, doing some choppy price action in the both directions, but we've also taken the liquidity of this low, and now we are kind of going for this low again. We technically broke market structure on the 4-hour chart because this was, let's say, this was the high, then this was the swing low, and this was the swing high. And then the break of structure would have been from the swing low to draw a line and see and wait for a candle close, which I think we will get in 19 minutes. So technically right now we are having a break of structure on the 4-hour chart, which would mean, at least in theory, that we go lower at least. But I don't think that bullishness is over. I think that maybe we go and feel some of these inefficiencies below and then start trading up again. I know that knowing some harmonics from Jonesy would have been helpful right now, but at least in my opinion we mitigated this FVG and we broke structure on the 4-hour chart, so that's no reason to be bullish, at least on this time frame right now. Maybe some guys with more experience trading forex can disagree with me, because a thing that I saw is that forex does not respect that much breaks of structure, and you need to have like some other types of confirmation when you are looking for a long and for a short, because once the market structure has been broken, maybe price goes down or up so much that you're better off just finding other entries, which is something that's really different from crypto, by the way. When I was only trading crypto, the only thing that I was trading is have a target of liquidity, wait for price to take the liquidity, then break the structure, and then target a short. But what I see that's happening a lot on forex is kind of the same thing. Yo, hello, Film Ninja, how are you? And then we sweep the liquidity, and then we go really harsh down. So it's really hard to look for an entry around here, because price usually wants to trade a little here and then go down again. So that was the biggest adjustment that I had to make when I started trading forex, is to not look for the same types of pattern that I was trading in crypto, and to kind of like be more confident than on breaks of structure entries, rather than wait for an extra set of confirmation. Late to the party, but here I am. Yeah, thank you a lot for joining, and it's no problem that you're a little late. Uh, I always love when people join. It doesn't matter if it's 10 or 15 or 30 minutes late. At the end of the day, it's something that I'm doing for the people that have like they have helped me grow. YOLO, yeah. um, it's not an idea that I usually do to YOLO. I used to do that, um, but I saw that it's better to have more confirmation, or at least to have a plan that you know works, because when you're starting to doubt yourself, then the mistakes come, then you close the trade too early, then you're not confident, and I've seen some people that add more to their position, which is again something that I never do, and I advise against doing that. Um, some people see themselves in a losing position, but they are still confident in their trade, and they are greedy, and they add more to their position, which ends up leading to even bigger losses. So I strongly advise against that. Once you see a plan, you have a plan, you see a trade, and you calculate your position size, it's better to have a like that plan and be confident in it and not add to the position, not modify the TP a lot. It's good to close early if you see signs of reversal against your trade, but again, you need to be confident into what you are doing and not doubt yourself and the ideas that you have, because at the end of the day, if you're not sure what you want to do, then more often than not, even though maybe you take the right decision, you still think it's the wrong one. So I like to have confidence in my trades, and I think that the biggest like step up for me since I started trading was that after I learned everything that I need to do, I tested a lot of setups with not much money risked. I think I was trading and I was risking a maximum of $2 every trade. So I was comfortable even with losing 100 trades in a row, but learning something from them. And this is something that I also advise new traders is to trade with money, but not a lot. Maybe $1, $2 every trade, because when you have some money involved, then it's different than if you're just paper trading, because um, when you're paper trading, the emotional standpoint is is gone. And I know people that take paper trading very seriously, and I really appreciate and I admire that. But that's something that I know that I could not do. So that's why I thought that trading with $1 or $2 was a better idea than paper trading, because for me at least every single trade is like 45% what you know and what you learned and the concepts that you use and the setups that you use. 5% luck, because you need a little bit of luck in everything, and the rest of 50% is like the emotional management of the trade and how you choose to like to react to what price is doing while you are in the trade. And at least if you are confident in the trade that you're in, then that 50% part is not that concerning if price goes against you. The thing that I used to do really often, and I hated myself because of it, was enter a trade, see that it was not immediately going into my direction, and then I would close my trade at break even, and then price would go for my TP, and I would look at the screen and I would be mad at myself for not believing in the setup that I was taking. And that was because I was not testing enough the setups that I was taking, and I was not confident enough in them. And once I settled on one setup that I know was working, at least for me, and was being profitable, then I was more confident in the trades that I took. And even if price was one pip away from my stop loss, I was still confident in my trade. And if it went to a loss, then that was no problem at all, because I knew that at the end of the day, in 100 trades or 1000 trades, the setup was successful. Uh, so many insights. Thanks a lot. Yeah, no problem. That's why I love, and that's why I wanted to do streams, um, to give back to the people what I know, because when I was first starting trading, I was learning a lot from other people, and I still am learning a lot from other people. So that's something that I feel the need to give back to, and I feel the need to like to continue the circle of teaching people the things that I know, even though there are people that know a lot more than me. Maybe they don't have time for streaming, and then I'm doing this. Um, how many setups do we need to know? Um, at least I think that you need to know two setups, and I can explain why. One setup for trending moves and one setup for ranging moves. Or I think you're totally fine just having one of those because price consists of trending moves and ranges, and even if you know to trade only one of them, then it's still enough to be profitable. If you only have like one setup, then you're gonna backtest a lot, you're gonna test it live a lot, and then you're gonna be confident in it. And even if, like, let's say your setup only goes into play once a day or once a few days or even once a week, if you know it's good, then you can add more capital and still be profitable by a large margin because of it. But like I said, it needs to be something that you're really confident in. How many are too many? There's not really an exact number of how many are too many. When you are starting to doubt yourself and to think, oh, which setup should I take? Should I take this one? Should I take this one? Should I take this one? Then you know there are too many because especially if you trade on low time frame, if you take a lot of time to decide which setup do you want to use, then you're gonna lose a good entry and lose a good risk to reward ratio just because you were not fast enough to identify the setup that you want to take. Yo, I'm Alejito. Yo, hello Alejito. Glad to have you here. Glad to see you happy on Twitter because Argentina won the World Cup. Lovely scenes in your country. That was really nice to see. Bro, can you please make a notion on volume profile and how to use them in setups? By the way, thanks a lot for everything you are doing. Um, I don't really have a notion on volume profiles alone. I don't think that there is like enough information about it to do a whole notion about it. I have my concepts, my liquidity concepts notion that also contains info on volume profiles and what types of volume profiles do I use, what types of liquidity POIs are there in a volume profile, and I think at least for people that have no idea what these are, those are enough. But it's a good idea to know that you want a more in-depth liquidity like notion about volume profile, because I still have to do one more notion on my like advent calendar, and I had no idea what to do it on. So maybe I'm going to do it on that. Does any one of you have like any chart request on forex, on crypto? Um, Another thing that I want to branch into are commodities like oil and gold, and that's something I have not traded at all, and I have no experience in doing it. But I have some really cool people around me that are doing it, and I'm sure that I'm gonna learn a lot from them. Another thing that I would suggest to new traders and people that want to get better is to surround yourself with people that are better than you. Yeah, Apon H1 if possible, for sure. Like surround yourself with people that are better than you, people that are hardworking, and to share your ideas with them. And like if they are good people, and most of the people in the crypto space are, they will tell you what you did wrong, what types of trades they're taking, how you can improve your setup, and then you're gonna make some friends. You're gonna have a great time, and even though at the end of the day, trading is a you versus you game, you're not competing against anyone. It's about your profitability. Like even though trading is a solitary game, you're still better off having friends that are doing the same thing as you. My trading went up immensely after I got to know some great people. I'm eyeing this daily FVG around 3.728, says Film Ninja. 3.728. Okay, so you are looking for a long. Oh, you mean this one? Well, I think that like at least for me, when an FVG is mitigated to the EQ, at least for me that FVG is not valid anymore. Like let me change the setting on Anch's FVG. Uh, oh, it is mitigated when is half filled. So for example, I would not trade this one, I would not trade this one, I would not trade this one. The FVGs that I would trade are this one, this one, this one, because they are not filled at all. Um, Also, this is looking like an ascending triangle with target around the same level. Um, so you mean something like this, like an ascending triangle? Maybe. I don't trade such patterns. For example, I only trade the liquidity that I see. Um, so for example, I can see right now that we swept this high, but we came pretty close again, and we have these equal highs. So a good setup that I will look at right now, at least in the short term, is to see or wait at least for a sweep of these highs, and then if we go lower than short, at least until this low. But I agree that if we go lower here and do something like this, then I would be more comfortable longing maybe towards this FVG that I was talking about. I think that there is a daily unmitigated FVG. Oh, you mean on the daily? Let's see. Yeah, it's unmitigated, this FVG. Um, I mean, it is mitigated a little, but until it reaches like the EQ or near the EQ, I would not consider this one mitigated. The thing with daily FVGs is that they take a lot of time to fill. Like even the one on ETH that I was showing, this huge one, you can see that it's there since November. We are now 1.5 months away from it. So, and we still have not mitigated more than that. So if you are looking at the 1 hour chart like we were discussing, I would not be that concerned with the daily AVG, because that can take a lot of time to reach, and I would look for something on the 4 hour chart, or the even the 1 hour chart maybe. But if swing trades are more your thing, then yeah, go for the daily AVG. But just having the daily AVG EQ as a target may not be the best idea. Maybe you can set like some alerts in that area, and when you feel comfortable with the closing the trade, then you can do it. Could be good mitigation block trade. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, it looks like, yeah, it's slowly going up, but the thing with such patterns is that you never know when the next strong move is gonna happen. So maybe we can see, like I said, a feel of these inefficiencies right here with a huge candle like we have here, but at the same time we can drop even lower. So for example, if Bitcoin wants to drop again until this level, then maybe we can see some downside on every single altcoin and more. Like it depends a lot on Bitcoin again. Please check XMR next. That's Monero, right? Yeah, it's an old coin, one of the first cryptos, I think, used for anonymous trading, I think. I don't know. I used to care more about the fundamentals of crypto and certain coins when I was swinging, which was last year. But since I recognized that we are in a bear market, I found no use in swing trading them, and then I started learning to trade liquidity on the low time frame. What chart do you wanna look at, Monero, Mr. Ayush Agarwala? Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Um, if not, we can look at the 15-minute chart. I think that could be interesting. Um, yeah, let's see. We have maybe 1 hour is fine though. M15. All right, let's see M15. So, um, a thing that I don't like to see is when I see such like low liquidity on coins. You can see that maybe if I want to short here, then oh, wait, that's long. If I want to short here, then it's uh, like it's this is from Binance and the way they are handling the coin. A single like peep, a single point moved is 0 0.1 R. But yeah, if I would so that's why I would not trade this because it's difficult to have a clear-cut TP and stop loss. And if you look on a lower time frame, like 1 minute, it's even worse. You can see how ugly the candles are and how low the liquidity is, and there are some minutes where price doesn't move at all, and that's not something that I usually want to see. But if we go higher than M15, maybe 1 hour, even 4 hours, then it's a tradable asset. So on the M15, we swept a lot of liquidity with this down move. We started ranging. We started trading up again. We swept some liquidity. We had the retest, and then we are going up again. The thing that I am concerned about are the equal lows right here and the equal lows around this level. So there's a lot of liquidity here and a lot of liquidity here. And when I'm looking at the upside, we just, if I look on a higher time frame, we just mitigated an hourly FVG. We are inside an hourly OB, like order block, or just below. Yeah, we're just below it. So if I'm looking at a higher time frame trade, I would not be longing this because the uptrend move is so extended and we have not taken much liquidity to the downside in a long time. So a good trade idea, at least for me, would be to wait to reach this OB and then target a short after a break of structure, or maybe even just look for a break of structure on the M15 right now. And maybe if you go lower than this, sweep the equal lows, and then target maybe a short. Because we are reacting on the, I think it's an H4 OB, yeah, something like this. But like I said, it's not something that I like to trade. I would stick to the bigger pairs, but it's still something that's nice to have in your agenda and look at it from time to time. And if you see a good setup, then take it if you're confident in it. Yo, Vic, Mickey in the house. Cheers. Yo, hello, Mickey. Glad to see so many faces that I know in my stream. Um, we've already passed the 1 hour mark on the stream. I don't have any plans like to see to end it after 1 hour or to end it after 90 minutes. Um, I'm going until my voice is starting to go down, or maybe until the people in the stream get bored. But streaming is something that I want to do at least once every 2 weeks next year. Like I said, I ordered a webcam that I can use and also have a face cam on, be a little more interactive with the public and not just be a voice behind the screen. Would love if you could explain Quasimodo a bit. Is it a setup for trending or for range market? Yeah, sure. Just let me take a sip of water, not a sweep, and then I'm gonna explain the Quasimodo model because it's the one I'm actually using the most. Right. So the Quasimodo model is, hopefully I understood that right when I was learning about it, because the concepts I was learning that's so long ago, and maybe they are starting to interfere with each other in my brain, and maybe I'm naming things wrong. I know there is a whole debate about cogs, like changes of character and breaks of structure, and at least to me the concept is clear but not to everyone. So for me a Quasimodo model is a trending move in one direction, and then we break the structure, we go back up again, and then down again. So this is, let me explain a little bit better. So it's basically the setup that I'm using, something like this. I don't know why this tool does not work on the web. I'm using the web variant for TradingView, not the application, because I wanted to share some music too. So the Quasimodo model is basically after a trending move, because there was a question if it's better for trending or for ranging market. And then we break the structure with, let me do it a little different color, and then we go back up, and maybe we feel some inefficiencies around this level. Maybe it's an order block, maybe it's an FVG, maybe it's a breaker block, and then we react of it and then go down again. And this model is the one that I use for my shorts. Like, I see some liquidity target being taken. Let's say this is the liquidity target which I set alerts to, and then I wait for the break of structure, and then I'm looking for a short, something like this. I identify this point of interest. Let's say maybe this is an FVG and this is the EQ of the FVG. I put my entry around there. I put my stop loss above the sweep of the liquidity, and I target another point of interest lower. So at least, if I remember correctly, and I hope so, this is the Quasimodo model, and it's like the bread and butter of my trading. And I even use it in ranges, but not like in the way you think. I explained a little sooner, maybe you missed that, Film Ninja, on how I trade ranges. Let me do a really quick recap. So if I'm having this range, and then I see price ranging inside of it, but then we go and sweep the highs, or let's say it sweeps the lows. Even though on the grand scheme of things we are ranging, we still needed a trending move to reach the range highs. And then if I'm going on a lower time frame, then maybe we were moving something like this, which is a trending move. And then I start looking at the Quasimodo model, and on the lower time frame where price is not ranging, and I look for an entry. Thank you for the alpha. Of course, everyone is welcome. The things that I've learned and the things that I know are not secret. There is no point of me keeping them secret. I like to share my knowledge with everyone, and to see how people improve, because on my end I was helped a lot to improve and to become a better trader and a better person overall. Does anyone have any more like education related questions, or maybe things to chart? Uh, when not, and if not, I'm gonna end the stream. But if someone wants to ask something, I have no problem in staying a little longer. I will have a schedule after New Year, and you will know when I stream and for how long. But right now it was something that I decided to do a week ago. I ordered I said the camera for streaming, but it did not arrive in time, and I'm leaving my setup tomorrow, so I had to do it today. And it has been lovely. We've been doing it for more than 1 hour now, and I think that we had a good time. I had a good time. I answered a lot of your questions, and maybe I can hit up some of my friends that are streaming more often than me, and then they can tell me about how to do some cool transitions, some cool effects with the face camera and stuff like that. But yeah, until then, it's been lovely having you guys here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the questions. It has been really great, and uh, yeah, was it great? Got my notifications on for the face reveal. Yeah, I have no problem in showing my face. It's not something that I'm hiding from people, but it will be a cool addition to the stream next time. So until then, if you're celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and have a great time. If you're celebrating anything else, have a good time anyway. And yeah, see you next year. And it's been lovely to have you together with me this year. Yeah, bye bye.